Dude, do I love this baseball team or what? Right now is a good time to be a Cleveland sports fan. Cavs are up 2-0. Draft is always exciting. But the guards, dude, come on. How do you win that game last night? Raining, sloppy, Jose going yard. Dude, this team does not stop. This team does not quit. This team scraps it out. And are they staring down the barrel of an American League Central title? You know where I stand. I put good, hard-earned money on Tipico for them to win the Central. I did that before the season even started. Was some of that belief in the guards? Sure. Was some of that, yeah, the rest of the division isn't very good. But here we are. Here we are. Shout out to Justin Lady. He hosts Locked On Guards, and he does a lot of their minor league stuff. Justin had a great tweet yesterday. He goes, you can't win the division in April, but you can certainly give yourself a nice little cushion as you start the bulk of the season coming up. And the guards have taken advantage of that. Even in games, Ryan, that I make excuses for them to lose. Coming off an off day, it's sloppy, you don't have your best game, and they still somehow find a way to get a win. This team is building something. This team is building something. The question is, are you on board with what they're building? Are you feeling it with the guards? Are you waiting to see a little bit more? They're playing well. Back in action tonight. We'll get to our boost for the guards tonight. We got NBA action as well. We'll go around the NBA, getting ready for the draft. A really interesting question this morning on NFL.com. Who is the greatest Browns draft class of all time? We have some since 1999, little slim pickings there. But who is the greatest draft class of all time for the Browns? And also, who's the worst draft class of all time for the Cleveland Browns? I've got the entire draft history that we'll run through. We have executive rankings out for Major League Baseball, Guardians front office getting some love, and we've got some stadium news around the NFL. It has to tie back to the Browns. It's got to. The Bears, their numbers have come out. Oh, boy, have they come out. We'll discuss what they're doing in Chicago, how that might apply to the Browns. We'll get to the grid, a very highly voted on bracket for your favorite cheese. I retweeted that. Somebody goes, you're talking, yeah, man, we're talking cheese here on this show. That's where we're at. Votes are up for our bracket of the week. We'll get to timeout. We'll get to the morning update. We'll get to all of it right here on Big Play. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. Hey, is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. Happy to have you along here. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, all streaming live there this morning. Appreciate you wherever you're joining us. Shout that out wherever you're at. You stream it on Twitter. We're over 600, by the way, on the Twitter side. At Matt Fontana Show. So appreciate the support there. You can also follow on YouTube and Twitch at Matt Fontana Show. Dude, last night honestly took the sting away from my NBA betting. Ryan, don't ever let me bet on the Suns again. Don't let me do it. You've tried to tell me and I don't listen. I almost tweeted the gif of, am I an idiot sandwich? I am. Gordon Ramsay, I'm an idiot sandwich over here. Why do I keep betting on the Suns? I don't know. I have no idea, but we'll go around the NBA coming up a little bit. But it was so nice to watch the guards pull that out yesterday because listen, they're going to win every game. And I try to, okay, Ben Lively, they already saw him. Dude, holy cow, 7 strikeouts again.
I was going to ask you, Matt, and this sounds silly, but when you kind of analyze the question, I think it's legitimate. I was going to ask you this morning, right now, because we don't have Shane Bieber, is Ben Lively our best starting pitcher?
That's a great damn question.
Because stats will tell you.
That's a great question.
Because right now, through 2 starts, stats will tell you he is. I know it's 2 starts.
I mean, we had other
both
questions
against the Red Sox.
Do you want to put that out?
But I'll tell you, 14 Ks, I think 3 walks, 3 earned runs through 2 starts, Matt. That's damn impressive.
That's what I'm saying. It's more about the I thought about this yesterday. Of Lively pitching his ass off. And he goes, what do I have to do to get a run? And Shane Bieber's sitting there going, shut up.
Welcome to my world.
I know, right? Ben Lively is getting the true experience sometimes as a Guardian pitcher where he's pitching his ass off and he can't get any run support. Do you know who leads the team in wins right now? Logan Allen.
Logan Allen, I was going to say, yeah.
So here's the options. I don't know if you want to put this up. I do think it's an interesting question. So obviously the top 3 as far as innings, Logan Allen, Tanner Bybee, Carrasco, and Tristan McKenzie. Logan Allen is 3-0.
Tanner, look at the ERA.
Okay, yes, 5. Not good. Tanner Bybee's 2-0. Carrasco is 1-1. Tristan McKenzie is 2-2. ERA. McKenzie 5. Allen 5. Bybee 4.5, which isn't great. And Carlos Carrasco, if you would have told me at this point
That's what I'm saying,
that
dude.
Carlos Carrasco of McKenzie, not Lively, Allen and Bybee would have the lowest ERA, I'd have called you crazy. And then you get to Ben Lively, 2 starts, 11 innings, a 2.38 ERA. He is 1-0. And again, didn't qualify for the wins.
You want to do that as our question?
I'm interested.
All right, what do you want the options to be? Allen,
Allen, Bybee.
Lively, and McKenzie?
Yeah, but then you're leaving out Carrasco. Will anybody actually vote Carlos Carrasco? I don't know. You put it up as you see fit. Because the whole point is what you brought up is Ben Lively the best starting pitcher for the Guardians right now. I pumped the brakes. It's 2 starts against the same team in Boston. I get it. Okay, fine. You know, Hammy was talking about that last night, dude. Boston, they're kind of in this flux spot right now where Rafael Devers is hurt. They go through the list of guys that, they let go, Mookie Betts and stuff like that. But they spent all that money on that Yoshida guy. He's not even playing. Didn't even play last night. He had to come off the bench and pinch hit. So Boston, I would love to jump on your Ben Lively take here. I think it's a lively one. Yeah. But is he the best? Is he our best starter right now? And the thing is, like, almost if you take the numbers out of it, your answer should be Tanner Bybee, right? Your answer to that question should be Tanner Bybee. But he's had a rough start so far. Or he's had, I would say rough, but he's out there battling. He's not quite what he was last year, and I understand. The guy, and I think it's a bigger question, who's been a bigger disappointment thus far?
Tristan McKenzie, hands down.
That I don't know if I can get on just because of coming off the injury.
I understand that, but I'm factoring that in.
Then you got that circling thing over top about he's got that elbow thing, and we're all waiting for that. Does that not? I keep saying, dude, it feels like just like
But you're also factoring in, for
him.
that question, you're also factoring expectations. Tanner Bybee was great last year, but nobody expected him to finish second in Rookie of the Year. We thought that Tristan McKenzie could be the heir apparent to Bieber at one point.
Well, and here we are. I got to tell you, the one that I'm a little disappointed with, even though he's 3-0, is Logan Allen. I really expected this to be a big year for Logan Allen. And we know Gavin Williams will be back soon. It's kind of seems like, because Davion Curry's not, who's starting tonight?
Cookie.
That's right. Carrasco, because we just put him in our boost. Or we thought
I'm just
about
waiting for the comment. It's going to be Cookie.
That's fine. All right, we'll take that. Because it seems like Davion Curry is not going to be in the rotation, right?
Yeah, but he had one start, and it was a damn good start, too.
But I'm just saying, it seems like that spot has gone to Ben Lively. And I think when you talk about the pitching with the bats, which, oh my God, man, isn't it just fun to be able to watch a team that can hit?
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt.
And they don't stop hitting.
Last night's game, I mean, that's a mark of a great baseball team. Nobody's budging through 7 innings, and then you get punched first. And then you bounce back and you put up a 5 spot in the last 2 innings, man. That is a mark of a great baseball team.
That's the thing. It's they had every reason to not, like, it was a rainy, crappy night, off and off day. You had a chance to not do it, and they still said, no, we'll do it. Guardians are 7th in Major League Baseball in batting. The only thing they don't really do is hit home runs, which is fine. But 7th in Major League Baseball in team batting average. And then you talk about what Josh Naylor has done. You talk about Steven Kwan. I think Andres Gimenez going through a little bit of a slow stretch right now. That's fine. And I think last night's home run might start unlocking Jose Ramirez a little bit. Votes talked about that after the game where he said, I don't know if you have anybody else other than maybe Naylor that you want in that box in that situation. Then I love they tacked on another run after that. Florial. They didn't stop hitting. Esteban Florial, baby. You know why I really like that? I had the Guardians minus a 1.5. So let's go. I cashed that. We missed our boost yesterday by a half a run, and we didn't get the RBI there from Josh Naylor. But still, here's another. Because the other thing is, what has been more surprising to you, the bullpen or the bats? Because for me, it's without a doubt the bullpen. You have one of the best bullpens in baseball. Did not see that coming. This lineup, it's actually a little like the Cavs, where I see the names, I see the talent that maybe they should or can be. So when they show up the way that they do, it can't be all that shocking. The bullpen is one that I go, where the hell did Hunter Gaddis come from all of a sudden? You have gotten a lot of contributions in that bullpen. So that is another great question of what has shocked you more, the bats or the bullpen? And without a doubt, for me, it's the pen. It's what they've done. Emmanuel Clase, they should outlaw him from baseball. He is just straight filth right now. Those pitches, that slider that he cracked off there, that 100-mile-an-hour cutter, untouchable right now. Absolutely untouchable. You just got to get there. You got to scrap this out and get it done. I flip over to Fangraphs. This is the other question we thought about posting this morning. Love your response. Do you think the Guardians are going to win the Central? So I go over to Fangraphs. They do have the Guardians as being the team to win the AL Central under projections. Now, the thing is, their projections have 1 through 4 in the AL Central only separated by 4 games. Here's how they project it the way out. So what they do is they take your current win total and then they project the rest of the season. Here's where we're at. Guardians finish 84-78. Twins finish 82-80. Tigers 81-81. And the Royals 80-82. So again, just Fangraphs. You only got 4 game separation between 4 teams. And then, oh yeah, there's the lowly White Sox, who they have losing 100 games, by the way. I don't know if it'll be quite that close. And I go back to how I started with what Justin Leda said from Locked On Guards. You can't win the division in April. You can lose it. You can certainly lose it. But what you can do is build this little cushion. Because the thing, as excited as I am about this team, it's baseball. You are going to hit a lull here. You're going to hit a stretch here where things aren't going right. You got to fight your way through it. But you build the lead. Every win counts. If you tell me that, again, 85 wins is going to win you the division, you're already almost a quarter of the way there. Isn't that crazy? That you're almost to that point. And again, the Tigers and the Royals are there. Dude, the one that gets me is Fangraphs. That they think the Twins are going to turn this on all of a sudden. Call me when that happens.
Yeah.
Call me when that happens. And then, bro, the Sox are 3-20.
Yeah,
3-20.
They're
really bad.
They're on a historic
They're
level of
really
bad.
The A's are happy about that because it's not them. So you think how it's going to fight out. I'm excited to see how this team goes. The bats are hitting, which I think is amazing. You move it in with the bullpen there. But our question is up. And did you put starting pitcher in there? Because somebody's going to go, oh, Manuel
I
Clase.
put starting pitcher.
Manuel Clase is our best pitcher. There's no debate on that. Then probably Hunter Gaddis. Then probably.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
Let's see here.
How about this, Matt?
What's that?
Pete Thamel. Reggie Bush is getting his 2005 Heisman
He's
Trophy
getting it back?
Yes, he is.
Good for Reggie.
The decision comes amid what the Heisman Trust
Dude,
calls enormous
okay.
changes in the college football landscape.
All right, we got more baseball to talk about. We got plenty of football. This is breaking news. Reggie's getting it back. So first off, it's one of the oldest, tiredest, sports take things ever about Reggie not getting his Heisman back. I never once didn't think that Reggie Bush won the Heisman. I never once didn't think that USC won national championships. And I get that the NCAA, they need to keep some sort of level of these guys go to school and all this other kind of crap. In today's day and age where they have all this NIL, it was about time. And I appreciate them doing this while Reggie Bush can still respect that. Now he gets to, I don't even know, it's not like it's a green jacket at the Masters. He doesn't get to go back to the Champions Dinner. You, me, and everybody knew he won that Heisman. So for it to now be official and give it back, good. I don't know what they were waiting for. Okay, he took some money. Now you look at it and you go, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? And that was, LeBron when his mom bought the Hummer. And God, who was it? Was it Chase Young that got suspended at Ohio State because he took a loan for his girlfriend, his parents, to come out to the Rose Bowl game? God forbid. God forbid. I understand it was against the rules at that time. I'm happy they did. If you just, the breaking news this morning, they're giving Reggie Bush his Heisman back. It's about damn time. And I'll tell you this too, not to be morbid on it. I'm glad they did. Here's the thing. They'll never give Pete Rose the Hall of Fame until he dies. And that's sad. About damn time. That's what I'm tweeting. A formal reinstatement of the trophy is coming today. Does he get did they get a ceremony? Does he get to take it back?
Is he going to be in the commercials now?
I wondered that. I would assume, why could they not?
Yeah.
That would have been really funny if Nissan put him in there, even though he officially didn't have it. But I'm sure the Heisman, because they lend out, they pay for the rights to that. Dude, if I'm Nissan, right? It's the Nissan Heisman house, right?
It could be.
Bad marketing, we don't know. Heisman house?
I mean, it sounds
It is
correct.
Nissan. It's Nissan. It's Nissan. It's Nissan. It's Nissan. Yeah, the Nissan Heisman house. Shout out to them. Think of it now. I can picture the commercial already. Like him walking into the house and they go, who's this guy? I won a Heisman 20 years ago. Dude, 20 years ago. Can you believe that?
That's unreal.
I can already think of it. Nissan's over the moon. They just got a whole bunch of content that they can create.
Now, but the question is, how does Reggie Bush feel about it? Because he could be kind of pissed off,
Why?
Because it's like he should have been there the whole time. It's like, why do I want to do them a favor?
That's fine. I mean, he'll make it up on the back end. Again, he's doing just fine on Fox, making his money. I don't know if Reggie Bush's life was all that impacted by not having that Heisman. You knew it. I knew it. Everybody knew that he won it. That's
Still,
fine.
I'd be a little upset.
Hey, at least they gave it back to him. And again, I think it gives it back to the Pete Rose stuff. Do you really think they're going to let Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame one day? No, they're going to wait for him to die, which is kind of sad. If they ever let him back in, but we'll see. So breaking news this morning, Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back. Good for him. Good for him. All right, more baseball to get to. The Athletic this morning put out an article. They polled 40 executives in Major League Baseball and did a point system, like 10 points got you first place. Of the best front offices in baseball. So there's Andy McCullough, Patrick Mooney, and Tyler Kempner. And they went through 40 executives to vote for the 2024 season, which teams do it the best. Here's how it goes. 40 executives across the sport. Many had experience as the primary decision maker for a team, either in the past or present. So a general manager. We asked each executive to rank the top 5 front offices and assign a point value. 10 for first, 7 for second, 5-3, down the list right there. The answers span big and small markets, but in some of the franchises experience incredible turnover. But then there are some that are the model of the stability. There was one clear favorite, which I don't get. It's the Dodgers was the best front office. Because they got a lot of money? Because they can sign a bunch of these guys? Okay, fine. But you got to remember, too, in some of the moves they've made, they've had to trade guys, too, and they've had a strong farm system. I get it. The Rays were second. The Braves were third. The 4th best front office in baseball, according to The Athletic, your Cleveland Guardians. Chris Antonetti, Mike Chernoff, and crew. Here's the write-up on the Guardians down at number 4. So first up, their total votes, so for comparison, the Dodgers led this thing at 138 points. The Guardians had 101. They got 2 first-place votes. Here's the write-up. At the top, there is stability. Chris Antonetti, the president of baseball operations, been with Cleveland since 1999. Mike Chernoff joined the team as an intern in 2003. The list of prominent executives to spend time in Cleveland: Derek Falvey went up to the Twins, David Stern to the Mets, Carter Hawkins of the Cubs, then Shapiro and Ross Atkins, and there's been a lot of guys that have come through and gone out everywhere else. They write in The Athletic. The Guardians do face a set of challenges. Owner Paul Dolan tends not to spend very much. The team has drawn, they've only drawn more than 2 million fans in a season just once since 2009. Okay, the Cleveland's not exactly a bustling coastal metropolis. Blank off, okay?
Yeah.
Blank off. One executive said, look at the market they're in and what they've done over the last 15 years, how much they've won. It's pretty remarkable. Cleveland's primary baseball product has been pitchers, a lineage stretching from Corey Kluber to Shane Bieber to Emmanuel Clase. The front office tends to target arms with upsides and trades and maximize them at the big league level. Keep adding the names, buddy. Again, all the guys that are here that you drafted, Bybee, McKenzie, Allen, the Clevenger trade that worked out for you before Trevor Bauer situation and all that, he worked out in that trade. I get it. One executive said they know what they're good at, and they're very consistent, at being who they are. Fourth best front office in baseball, according to The Athletic, going out to your Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, they had to put in the Dolan stuff on not spending money. Ryan, I've said this for a long time. If there was a salary cap in baseball and it was a little more of a level playing field, Guardians would have had 2 World Series in the past 15 years.
Okay.
You cannot change my mind on that.
Okay.
If there was a salary cap, which again, a salary cap doesn't mean everything is equal. That's just the max that you can spend. It doesn't mean you have to get there. But if things were a little more level, it was a little more of a level playing field in baseball, Guardians have multiple championships over the last 15 years.
Okay.
No question.
Okay.
Because it's unfortunate that almost what they're really good at pales in comparison to teams that can just outspend. Because that's my thing. For as smart as the Guardians have been and as good as they've been at making moves, it almost doesn't mean anything because other teams just outspend you and they beat you.
Moneyball can only get you so far.
It can. I mean, really, seriously, because you can develop these guys and then eventually they leave, or eventually somebody else is just going to spend a bunch of money for a free agent. The thing is, in baseball, there's a giant gap between the haves and the have-nots. And all the have-nots do is basically provide more minor league, and you just move on to the haves. Once a team like the Pittsburgh Pirates, who draft Garrett Cole, and he's everything you would expect, well, he just leaves. He just leaves. Now, there are big teams that lose stars. Juan Soto, I would say Washington was a giant place to be, but left, San Diego. Now he's with the Yankees. But for the Guardians, for how smart they've been, if there was a more level playing field, they'd have multiple championships. You can't change my mind on that. And coming out in these rankings, I think tells you all you need to know about how good they really are. You want to know the other interesting thing I thought about going through this? I want to pull the list back up here. I'm going to scroll back to the top from The Athletic. That the AL Central was not well represented. So again, top was Dodgers, Rays, Braves, Guardians. They were the only ones that got 100 votes. And by the way, what I say, 184 for the Dodgers? They got 284. So wow. 284 for the Dodgers, 258 for the Rays, 130 for the Braves, 100 for the Guardians. Next up was the Twins that only got 20 points on this thing. The Tigers only got 4. And that's it. The Royals, not on this list. And of course, obviously, neither are the White Sox. So it tells you, it's almost like it's now, I don't say finally coming to fruition because we've kind of owned the Central over the last decade. But with how far away our executives are compared to the AL Central, it's like kind of actually now playing out on the field. Because the thing is, you can make all these smart, I guess what I'm trying to dance around here is the Guardians can make 10 right moves that are genius moves and ahead of the curve, and some other team makes one move, and that somehow supersedes it, right? That's the issue with baseball. But it tells you in the Central, where everybody's kind of in similar mindset. I guess the White Sox could spend if they wanted to, but none of these teams are the Yankees or the Red Sox or LA or the Cubs that can spend out their ass. You're all in the similar mindset, similar situation, so that is where the executives are actually going to carry this team. And they have. So I thought that was pretty good there for the Guardians, coming 4th in baseball in the executive rankings coming out this morning from The Athletic. All right, we got plenty to get to this morning as well. Everybody's jumping on the Reggie Bush news. He gets his Heisman back, which is absolutely great. I do want to do around the NBA, but Ryan, let's do that a little bit later. I want to flip over to some football this morning. So a couple of things. Number one, we start with a question that was posted on NFL.com. And it was, who is the greatest draft class in Cleveland Browns history? So I thought this would be fun to run through and try to find the best draft class in Browns history.
Are we since 99?
All time. We could do since 99. But I think the answer lies, there's 2 options that I looked at. One was from the 80s and one was much earlier than that.
Yeah, I would just have no idea.
I know, so I'm going to run through a lot of them. But eventually, we'll also get to the worst. So here are our potential picks for the best draft class of all time. Since 1999, your best drafts have actually been very recently, which is pretty good for Andrew Berry and crew. You'd have to give some love to 2018. Mayfield, Denzel Ward, and Nick Chubb. That's a pretty good draft right there. Other guys in that, Austin Corbett, Chad Thomas, Antonio Callaway, Jannard Avery, Damian Ratley, and Simeon Thomas. Didn't really do much else there.
I mean, even the year before that, you got Garrett and Njoku.
You got Garrett and Njoku, Larry Ogunjobi, who turned himself into a really good player. There's that. 2020, Wills, Delpit, Jordan Elliott, Jacob Phillips, Harrison Bryant, Nick Harris, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Pretty good list, right? Not bad. Newsome, JOK, Anthony Schwartz, and a bunch of guys that didn't really play there in 2020. And I think 2022, MJ, Alex Wright, David Bell, you can't really tell on some of those guys going back. So since 1999, I think I got to go 20. But here's the thing. You drafted a first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the best offensive linemen in history, in Joe Thomas. After that, though, Brady Quinn, Eric Wright, Brandon McDonald. Nothing, right? Before that, jack squat nothing. Seriously. Jeff Fain, Sean Thompson, remember that draft in 2003? William Green, Andre Davis, the wide receiver, by the way. Did you know the Browns had two guys with the same exact name?
No, I didn't.
You didn't know that?
Yeah.
There was Andra Davis, the linebacker, and Andre Davis, the wide receiver. They both had to put their full names on the back of their jerseys. You don't remember that?
I mean, what year was that?
I mean, he drafted Andre Davis in 2002.
Yeah, no, I was,
a little before
1
your
year
time.
old.
So that's since 1999. And again, Couch, Courtney Brown, and all that. I go back to our first submission for the best draft in Browns history. And we go back, and I apologize because this actually was in 1978, not the 80s, but these guys played here. You had two first-round picks, 12 and 23. You took Clay Matthews and Ozzie Newsome. So you have a Hall of Famer in Ozzie Newsome and a guy that should be in the Hall of Fame in Clay Thompson. Clay Thompson. Holy God. Clay Matthews. Clay Thompson is going to go to the Hall of Fame. Clay Matthews should be in the Hall of Fame.
Anybody gets in the NBA Hall of Fame these days.
It's not, I don't want to say it's easy to do, but it's definitely not hard. So then I go back. So here's where I'm kind of picking through some drafts of the past to find one where you had multiple Hall of Famers. You know the Browns drafted Dick LeBeau way back in the day? The one that I keep coming back to is the 1957 draft. You took Jim Brown, 6th overall, Henry Jordan in the 5th round, and Gene Hickerson in the 7th round. You drafted 3 Hall of Famers in that draft, including Milt Plum, who was a quarterback that played
Milk Plum?
Milt, like Milton, but he went by Milt Plum.
Man, I keep saying they don't make names like that no more.
Oh, no, man.
It's all Matts and Ryans
Curry
now.
Janot, defensive end. Rudy Spitzenberger.
Another one.
Drafted him. Guard. 1957, 139 overall for him. So you could go with that one, and then there was one other one that they drafted multiple Hall of Famers. Let me see if I can find it here. It's Don Shula. The Browns drafted Don Shula. Okay, so that was pretty much it. So you probably say that 1957, where you drafted 3 Hall of Famers, Jim Brown being one and Gene Hickerson the other, versus 1978, Ozzie and Clay Matthews. And then, again, I really think 2018. Do you want to put, I mean, that's going way back for the people. I'll leave that up if you want to put that up as our Twitter question, one of our Twitter questions this morning. Who is the greatest Browns draft class? And you could put in there, like 1957, Jim Brown. Let me get you the list here as you're typing it up here. Jim Brown, Gene Hickerson, and Henry Jordan. I don't even know how much Henry Jordan played for the Browns. Hang on one second. He only played in Cleveland 2 years.
All right, what? Give me the year.
1957.
And, okay.
Jim Brown, Gene Hickerson. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that all in there. You might want to put it in the body of it. You know what I mean? Like, put it in the actual tweet.
Then how do they vote?
You just put 1957, 1978.
What?
Okay, here's my idea. Do you see where you say, who's the greatest Browns draft class of all time? Go there. Enter down. One more. 2018.
Oh, I see what you're
Baker,
saying.
Chubb. Yes. Now
Okay,
you got me. Now
okay,
you got me. Okay. You should be the social media expert on this. Baker, Chubb, Ward. 1978, Ozzie, Clay Matthews. Let me see if I can get you somebody else in that draft. I think there was one more.
Not Klay Thompson?
Not Klay Thompson. No, pretty much just those two guys.
Did I spell Ozzie Newsome right?
No, it's I.E.
It's I.E.?
Not Ozzy Osbourne. Congratulations, by the way, he made it in to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He is also a Hall of Famer. Ozzie Newsome, Clay Matthews. Or then 1957, Jim Brown.
I feel like people are just going to get hooked on Jim Brown.
Probably, but that's fine. And Gene Hickerson. Just put those two because Henry Jordan made the Hall of Fame, but he only played 2 years in Cleveland. And then put, 20.
Spell Hickerson?
It looks right to me.
It's got to be right.
Hickerson.
Yes, sir.
All right, there it is. There it is. And then you can put comment with anything else, and then put that up. I'm interested to see.
We also got to do the worst one.
We're going to do the worst one here next. We're going to do the worst one next. We're doing that next. Of all time. What is it? And again, I would be open, I was trying to go back to the 70s when they drafted a lot of those players, Mike Pruitt in the first round. 78, again, was solid. I'm trying to think. There was one other one. Hanford, 1981, first round, 22nd overall. Shout out to him. Chip Banks.
Chip Banks.
You don't know Chip Banks?
No.
Linebacker, man. Mike Junkin, Mad Dog in a Meat Market. Eric Metcalf. There was one other one. Hang on here. E-Rock, Eric Turner. Second overall. What a player. Touchdown, Tommy Vardell. Do you know about him? No, before your time. Steve Everett. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that's really the best. Okay. Now we get to the worst. A lot of these are going to be since 1999. We'll probably put 4. So let's put it on. Well, I don't even think any of the last 5 years would count as far as the worst. 2016. And I'm going to talk through these before we do them. Corey Coleman, Emmanuel Ogbah, Carl Nassib, Cody Kessler, Joe Schobert. Bro, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think you had 13 draft picks in that one. Seriously, in 2016. 2015, Danny Shelton, Cam Irving, both first-round picks. Oh, my God, Vince Mailey. Do you know they cut him as a fourth-round pick before the season even started? Could you imagine cutting a fourth-round pick? What a miss. We get to 2014. And I know that you missed on Johnny and Justin Gilbert. You still drafted Joe Bitonio in the second round. And he's maybe a future Hall of Famer. And you also drafted Christian Kirksey, who's a really good player. So I don't know if you can put 2014 in there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's some heavy draft stock for two absolute
keep that in mind.
Bums.
I think 2012 is also 2 first-round picks. Trent Richardson, who, by the way, this week on Pro Football Network, they did the all-time draft bust. Jamarcus Russell 1, Ryan Leaf 2, Trent Richardson 3.
But to be fair, Trent's first...
Oh, I wanted nothing. I know. His first year, I know. Can I tell you a quick Trent Richardson story?
And then he just got sent to Indianapolis.
And did nothing. I didn't want Trent Richardson from the jump. I didn't want him at all coming out of Alabama. Can I tell you a quick Trent Richardson story? So his rookie year, rushed for, I think, 989. I don't want to remember that because he didn't get 1,000 yards. Bro, we sat there at locker room cleanout day, and we're talking to Trent Richardson. And he admitted to us that he played the entire season with fractured ribs. He told us that he had to go buy some fancy-dancy mattress because he couldn't sleep at night because that's how bad his ribs hurt. He's like, I couldn't sleep on my back. I had to sleep on the one side that my ribs weren't on, the ones that were hurt. I had to go buy a special mattress for that. So he fought through those injuries. I get it. But Trent Richardson, then Brandon Weeden, but you did draft Mitchell Schwartz, and he was a very good player. You drafted Travis Benjamin that kind of worked out for you. So that was 2012. 2011, Phil Taylor, Jabal Sheard, Greg Little, Jordan Cameron, Buster Screen.
Jordan Cameron is okay.
I don't think you can give it to 2010. Joe Hayden, TJ Ward, first 2 picks. Those were really good players. You got Colt McCoy, too. 2009, Alex Mack, who was on the all-decade team.
Yeah.
Robisky, Mohamed Massaquoi, David Vaikune, all there. 2008 sucked because you didn't have a pick until the 4th round. Bo Bell, Martin Rucker.
How did that happen?
we gave everything up to go trade for Brady Quinn.
Nice.
The year prior, we gave everything up to go up and get Brady Quinn.
Nice.
2007, Joe Thomas, Brady Quinn, Eric Wright, all that. 2006, Cam Wimley, DeQuell Jackson. 2005, Braylon Edwards, Brodney Poole. 2004, Kellen Winslow, Sean Jones, Luke McCown. 03, Jeff Fain, William Green in 2000. But then, like, I don't know, man. Then we get into, like, the 90s. And, like, there are people that are going to try to tell me about some of these other guys that really just didn't pan out. 1992. Maybe you got to put this one in there. Touchdown Tommy Vardell. Patrick, I don't know any of those guys. So for the worst, I'll leave it up to you. Do you want to put Manziel and Gilbert in there, 2014? And then probably what? 16? Maybe? And then it's up to you if you want to do Richardson and you probably should put 2012 in there. Probably put 2012 in there.
All right, so rip them off in order.
All right, so 2012. Trent Richardson, Brandon Weeden. Just put those two, okay? Then do you want to do this 2014, but you got to put Manziel, Gilbert, but also put Joel Bitonio in there. Because, again, people got to remember you drafted Joel Bitonio in that. So I think that helps. You almost want to put in parentheses also drafted Bitonio.
I'm going to put him in caps with an asterisk.
Yeah, right, because he's good. They're not.
He's good.
He's good. They're not.
They're trash.
You want to put 2013, that was Mingo McFadden, Jamoris Slaw. Dude,
what about 2016? I mean, Corey Coleman.
You could put it in there. Emmanuel Agba, Nassib, Cody Kessler, Joe Schobert. They're all in there.
Okay, wait. Rip them again.
All right, 2016, Corey Coleman. I guess put Emmanuel Agba in there. You can just put Agba. O-G-B-A-H. And then put Cody Kessler. Amongst a lot of other guys in 2016.
Ripping those three?
Again, I'd be open to going back to the 90s and stuff, but I just don't know much about these guys in the 90s. People really never liked the 87 draft of Mike Junkin. Mad Dog and a meat market's what they called him. So do this. Put like comment, if people want to go with some other draft that we don't really have much information on. So do that. All right, send it out. Because I thought it was interesting. NFL.com ran through the best draft class of history for the Browns. They did go with the Jim Brown one. They went with the Jim Brown draft class. That's the one that they picked. So let me go retweet those. At Matt Fontana 83. Of course, you can drop us a follow at Matt Fontana Show. Best starting pitcher for the guards, up. The worst draft class of all time for the Browns, and then the best. And then, other comment. I would probably go. Is 57 going to run away with that? I think you're right. The worst.
That one will be closer.
I'm going to go 2012. Trent Richardson, Brandon Weeden. You drafted a running back that nobody really, I didn't want anyway.
Senior citizen.
And a senior freaking citizen, 28-year-old Brandon Weeden. But I will tell you the one thing about Brandon Weeden, I've never seen somebody throw a football as hard as Brandon Weeden. You could hear the football when he threw it. I don't know if he was accurate. Probably couldn't hit the broadside of a barn if he needed to. Yeah. But, man, could he put some zip on it.
I'm pretty sure Cribb said he threw a decent ball.
I believe it. Like, again, of the tightness of the spiral, I've never seen, I tell you this, I've never seen somebody throw a football like Brandon Weeden. I'll tell you one other. Can I do one other thing?
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody throw a football like Deshaun Watson. And I've not had maybe the cream of the crop examples out there in Berea, but I've never seen somebody throw a ball like Deshaun Watson. He throws a good ball. There was nothing like Brandon Weeden, man. That thing was tight, and you could hear it. You could hear it go past you when he threw it.
A lot of zip, you would say?
Very much zip. Does he have any rust? Yeah, he didn't play college football for 6 years.
Zip and rust.
Do you know what team drafted Brandon Weeden in Major League Baseball?
He looks like he'd be on the Phillies.
That's close. He was a Yankee.
Okay.
He got drafted by the Yankees.
Worse.
He got drafted by the Yankees. Let me look this up. Brandon Weed. Dude, he's 40 now, by the way.
He's 40?
Yeah.
Good
He didn't
gravy.
get drafted until he's 28, 26 or something like that.
I think it was 26. But still.
Drafted in the second round by the Yankees. After 2003, he was traded to the Dodgers along with Jeff Weaver. And then he was selected in the Rule 5 by the Royals and played his last season of professional baseball in Class High A, where injuries and poor performance led Whedon to quit baseball. I don't think he ever got above High A. I don't think he ever did.
Mike on Twitter, any draft that includes a first-round pick who they didn't even talk to prior to drafting has
Okay,
to be
that was
the top.
Justin Gilbert.
With a potential Hall of Famer in the same draft, hashtag Gilbert, no, I don't want to return kicks.
You know they didn't even talk to Justin Gilbert before they drafted him.
How do you do that?
So the story on that goes, to go a little history lesson here, was allegedly.
That's sad.
I know. Allegedly, Ray Farmer said that he drafted Johnny Manziel for the owner, and he drafted Justin Gilbert for Mike Pettin. So Mike Pettin was a defensive-minded head coach. And I want to try to go back. What was that? Oh, I say 2012, right? Because in that draft, I feel like I really wanted, was D. Milner in that draft? No. Wait a minute. Oh, no, 2012 was Richardson. I'm sorry. What was 2015? We just put it up. What was it, 2014? Yeah, 2014. So the Browns defense, they had drafted Mingo the year prior, and Justin and apparently, allegedly, Mike Pettin said, I need a corner. I need a cornerback for this team. I need a defensive guy. So he was forced on basically taking Justin Gilbert to appease the coach and then took Johnny Manziel to appease the owner, allegedly. Here are the guys drafted after Justin Gilbert. Anthony Barr, Eric Ebron, Taylor Lewan, Odell Beckham, Aaron Donald, Kyle Fuller, Ryan Shazier, Zach Martin, and C.J. Mosley. Every one of those guys made a Pro Bowl in their career except for Justin Gilbert. In the top 17 picks, every player made a Pro Bowl except Greg Robinson, Sammy Watkins, Blake Bortles, and Justin Gilbert. I think I really wanted Anthony Barr in that draft. And then they took Johnny Manziel at 22. Because, again, allegedly what Farmer tried to tell everybody was, I was drafting for the coach and the owner. And then he says that his first true pick that he got was Joel Bitonio. Of course he's going to attach himself to that. Oh, the first pick that I really got to make for myself is a guy that's a borderline Hall of Famer. I picked Joel Bitonio, though. What a time, man. Ryan, I don't think you really understand how dysfunctional. I know the Browns were dysfunctional at a time. Bro, it was all this time. It was all the draft. When you really source back a lot of the issues with the Browns, they gave out bad free agent contracts to Paul Kruger and Randy Starks and a bunch of guys that came in here to get fat and make a lot of money after their career was really kind of over, or overpaid for a guy. Bro, the malpractice in the draft. They, again, talking about worst second-round picks all time, somebody put Brian Robisky on that list out of Ohio State. That guy was nothing, and you wasted a second-round pick on him. Seriously, when I go back more recently, again, I can't go back to the 80s, but when I go back more recently, you take Andrew Berry for granted. I know you do, because I do too. When you complain, Ryan, think about this. We are having debates about third-round guys and if he's going to be a guy or if he's going to play. We said that about first-round picks. They were screwing up first-round picks like it was their job. And there was a lot of turnover with GMs where none of them could truly get their footing underneath it, which I understand, right? You had Ray Farmer, RIP to Tom Heckert, right? You had all these guys, Sashi Brown. You just ran them in there, and they had no idea what the hell they were doing. Not a single one of them. And every one of them looked at something different, but there was always this over innate pressure, right? So there was pressure with Randy Lerner because there was no owner. You had Mike Holmgren in there hiring a bunch of his buddies and whatever. Then the Haslams come in. And maybe they were a little more involved than they should have been early. I think they've kind of fixed some of that. Whatever, fine. I'm all for it. But, bro, we complain and get worried about wasting third-round picks. They were wasting first-round picks. They really were. Like Corey Coleman, right? Now, in that draft of the receivers that, there were some good ones in that one. Do you know Corey Coleman, who most likely will finish his career with 780 receiving yards? You drafted him 15th overall. 15th overall. Danny Shelton, the funny thing about Danny Shelton was, in 2015 when they drafted him, he's massive. Bill Belichick, that's why he went to New England. You want to know why? Bill Belichick, no, he loved his ass. Because he said, any D lineman, I need a wide butt. Belichick said when he looked for any D tackle, they had to have a wide rear end.
So Bill's a butt guy. He's
a butt guy. He very much is, clearly. You got to be wide. Danny Shelton probably was then his favorite player of all time.
Salivating over Danny
he had
Shelton.
to have been. So, of course, he went to New England. The one thing about Danny Shelton that I found funny going into that draft, we do mocks. I tell you, every single mock that I clicked on, and I'm not even exaggerating, every mock I clicked on for 2015, Danny Shelton. And it actually came to fruition, which I was at the time joking that the Browns were actually reading mock drafts of media people. Dude, every single one had the Browns taking Danny Shelton. Every single one.
Imagine Andrew Berry Googling Mel Kiper's
there he goes
7th round.
Oh, hey, look at Dean Brugler's latest one. Oh, gee, have we thought about this guy? You're on the clock, and you're just like, pull up Mel.
Pull up Mel's 4.0. Pull up Mel's 4.0.
What has he got? Come on now. Seriously, that was the one year where every single mock had Danny Shelton coming to the Browns. We're in a different spot. Be thankful for that. But, and again, that is when I tie everything back. When I truly think about the turnaround for the Browns, it happened in the draft. It started with the decision of going Miles over Trubisky. It was 2018. Say what you want about Baker. He was part of this turnaround. And Chubb and Ward. And
That's
again,
undeniable.
You give Jarvis Landry credit. But think about the real turnaround.
No, undeniable.
The real turnaround from the Browns is when they started drafting well. And they started getting guys in here that deserved second contract. Think about the prior life before Andrew Berry. Joel Bitonio and Charlie Hewlett are the only ones. Now, granted, they're into their 30s, and guys just eventually kind of fall off. But you understand, not before Andrew Berry, because Ward and Chubb are a big part of that, too. I'm discrediting them. I didn't mean to do that. But what I'm saying is, you probably only got 4 or 5 guys before. The rest of this team has been created by Andrew Berry. And where has he created most of it is through the draft. It's through the draft. Where did you get Grant Delpit? Where did you get MJ Emerson? Where did you get Greg Newsome? Where did you even find guys that you didn't know they'd be anything like MJ or DeJuan Jones?
Yeah, no kidding.
Seriously. David Njoku's on the list of priors, too.
You didn't mention Jock.
And Jeremiah Usu-Koromoa. Those are the core. That's any good team. Now, you've supplemented with some nice. I'm happy to have Amari Cooper here. I'm happy Jerry Jeudy is here. But you really see the importance. And again, I don't want that lost as the draft starts tomorrow. They still have 54. I still expect a good player at 54. I'm not throwing this away like Greg Little, who they took at the 59th pick out of North Carolina.
Dude, I love our question because Dave quoted it, and he's exactly right. Joel Bitonio is messing up that lock because that would be a lock for 2014.
2014.
Manziel
Outside of those guys, then Christian Kirksey, who was fine in the 3rd round. Then Terrence West. He and Isaiah Crowell were like splitting carries, but he really wasn't much. And then a guy named Pierre Desir. And Pierre turned in a good career. He went to the Colts after that, after us, and he had like a solid career as like a special teamer, like 4th corner type of thing. But Dave's right. I mean, Bitonio really screws all that up, where you had 2 of the biggest misses that you could have, but then you've got a Hall of Famer. And Ryan, I bring up, you had 2 misses in a draft that was pretty loaded.
Yeah.
Clowney went 1. I don't know if he lived up to that. Khalil Mack went 5. Mike Evans went 7. Now, those are before your picks. But remember, you traded out of 4. Don't forget that, Ryan. The Browns had the 4th overall pick that year. They gave it to Buffalo so they could go select Sammy Watkins. And there were people in Cleveland screaming, go, what are you doing?
This is 14.
14.
Yeah.
We wanted Sammy Watkins. Bad. Really bad. And they traded out of it. Then they actually traded back to 9 and then moved up to 8 to take Justin Gilbert. But at that time, you could have taken Ebron, Luwan, Odell Beckham, and the glaring one is Aaron Donald. Okay, you took a Hall of Famer at 13. But even if you would have taken Zach Martin, who turned in a really good, that was not one of those drafts that you look at and you go, that was just a really, really bad draft. There were some really good players in that draft, buddy.
Ewing on Twitter, the stretch of time from Whedon, Richardson, Barkevius, Mingo, Shelton, Irving, Gilbert, Manziel, Coleman is unbelievable.
And that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And it really did take you that long to, I know they made the playoffs in 2020 and kind of turning the ship like that. But it's just some bad misses, man. So that's why, I brought it up as a fun exercise for the best and worst because I thought it'd be fun to kind of go back through history. But it makes you realize a couple of things. Number one, be thankful for Andrew Berry. Be thankful for Andrew Berry. And I know he's not going to bat 1,000. I don't ask him to. But, even just in his more recent drafts, he's taking guys that you still see as projects. I'm going to go back to, now, I guess maybe not. Okay. Do you want the unequivocal answer of Andrew Berry's worst draft? It was 2021. So here's the thing. You took Greg Newsome and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. They're good. I'm not saying they're not. You then went Anthony Schwartz, James Hudson, Tommy Togiai, Tony Fields, Richard LeCount, and Demetric Felton. Those guys really aren't around anymore. Now, again, you're talking about some guys later down. Then 2022, without a first-round pick, you still found Martin Emerson, Alex Wright, David Bell, Perrion Winfrey, Cade York, Jerome Ford, Michael Woods, Isaiah Thomas, and Dawson Dean. Perrion didn't work out. It happens. But you found a stud in MJ Emerson. Be thankful, man. And that's the excitement that I still have for Friday. I'm still expecting a really good player for the Browns. I still am asking that. Even with all, again, you realize maybe how easy it is to fuck it up. You realize how easy it is to screw it up. And NFL GMs are like NBA GMs, and I guess even like baseball, but the NFL is a little bit different, right? Where there's more draft picks, there's more opportunity there, and you're all searching for one position, things like that. Sometimes you get one that falls in your lap. John Lynch looks like a genius because he drafted Brock Purdy, right? But it's like, dude, come on. He just happened to be in the right situation with Kyle Shanahan. And that is also something that I realized about the Browns. We were drafting guys. You're going to laugh, but don't. That some of these guys might have turned out. Justin Gilbert might have been an all-pro. Now, probably not because he had a horrible attitude and didn't study and all that kind of stuff. But there are worlds that these guys, that Cody Kessler might have been something, right? But you brought them in a two-front war. It's the old saying, right? You should never fight a two-front war. Here's where it was. They were deficient players entering a chaotic situation. That's not going to work. What you sometimes need is, again, you go back to Baker and Miles and Njoku and Denzel and Nick Chubb to be good players to come in and change the dysfunctional thing. Then what you can do, change your dysfunctional franchise and take some lesser talented guys and elevate them by saying you're coming into a good situation. It's the old Patrick Mahomes. Would he have been something if he'd have gone here? Would he have been something if he'd gone to Chicago? It worked out because he went to Kansas City. I believe that so much. Now, what the positive is, and what I love so much about the Browns, they have now built a culture and a team that they can swing on some guys here, bring them in, and develop them, right? Siaki Ika basically had a redshirt year. DeJuan Jones was basically going to have a redshirt year. But you bring them in to cultivate the next swing. Now, again, I want my first-round picks back, and I'm going to get them back next year. That is still drafting really talented premier players and also then bringing them to a good situation. That's the best of both worlds. When you can bring in good players to a good situation. The Browns were swinging and missing on both. You were bringing in bad players into a bad situation. It was never going to work. It was never going to work. And maybe in a good situation they could. And again, you got to give Joe Bitonio credit for persevering through all that crap. Got to give Joe Thomas. I guess Joe Thomas short. But the thing is, I tell you that, man, those were some years that you hit on some guys. Like the 2000s were good. 2010, Hayden, TJ Ward, Colt McCoy. Okay, fine. Like, you were still drafting some good players in the 2000s. It was just that stretch of the 2010s. You know, friend of show, Phil Taylor. 2011, Phil Taylor. I love Jabal Sheard. Greg Little, Jordan Cameron, Owen Marisic, Buster Screen. Nothing much there, buddy. 2012, which is in the running for the worst. Whedon, Richardson, Schwartz, Travis Benjamin, Hughes. James Michael Johnson was a linebacker. Ryan, I don't think he played a game for the Browns.
Fred on Twitter, 1987, Meat Market Junkin over Conlon.
That's a good one. Do you know about Mike Junkin?
No.
Linebacker out of Duke, I think. The pre-draft write-up was he plays linebacker like a mad dog in a meat market.
I like that a lot.
So that's what Mike Junkin was. And I think what he's talking about was with 87, Mike Junkin was the 5th overall pick. And he's talking about they wanted Shane Conlon, a linebacker who went 8th overall. Could have drafted Rod Woodson. He went 10th in the 87 draft there. Could have had that. So, yeah, that was one that I brought up earlier, but that's a little before our time, so we'll defer to some of the people that were there for it. But 87 is one that certainly is in there as well as some of the worst. All right, let's do this. Let's catch our first break in the morning. Twitter's popping off right now. 87, yeah, there it is. Cleveland Burner goes, they could have just put a poll out to the fans, and we probably would have drafted better.
Could you imagine, like,
send that out and go, hey.
Could you imagine Browns are on the clock? Their Twitter account sends out a poll and like social media literally
Malachi
dictates.
Corley, Braden Fisk, Trey Benson, or Troy Franklin. Quick, about 5 minutes.
Ladd McConkey.
He's not going to be there, buddy. I hate to break it to you. I don't think he's going to be there. But yeah, Cleveland Burner's right, man. Like, I think we could have done, you couldn't do much worse. Couldn't have done much worse on it. So again, vote at Matt Fontana Show. All our Twitter questions are up this morning. A little Guardians, a little bit of Browns. I'm not going to bring that up. That's okay, fine. Got some more at the draft. There's the more scuttlebutt coming out about, we know Chicago's taking Caleb Williams. Where are they at? Jaden Daniels, getting that all figured out as well. There's also some interesting things about some guys getting hyped up into the first round, which I think helps the Browns if some other players could fall down. Hour 2 coming upon us. Here's what we got. We'll get to the morning update. We'll mess around with the grid this morning. But there's also big news out of Chicago when it comes to their stadium. This all applies back to the Browns. We hit a lull, rightly so, with this stadium discussion. We've not had any news, but you got to keep your ear to the grindstone to see what are these other teams. There are other teams, what's going on in Kansas City, and Chicago might be the biggest comparison to what the Browns are in because they're in a similar situation. They can't play where they have been playing. Do you refurbish? Do you rebuild? The issue is they got more money, they got more land, and there's a big difference between them and us. So we'll get to that coming up in hour 2. We'll also dive back into the Guardians as well, and we'll go around the NBA. Don't let me forget to do that, Ryan. We'll do it as part of morning update. We'll go around the NBA. For the games last night, I need to stop betting on the Suns.
Well, game 3 would be the one to do it.
I ain't doing it, and they'll win. Watch.
Well, game 3 is the one to do it.
Okay. All right. So we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later. Stay with us right here on Big Play. Folks, Tipico. Did I get it last night? Wait a minute. I did another imperfect parlay last night.
Did you? Well, you bet the Suns. So
I bet the Suns, but did I not take the Pacers and I know I took the Mavericks. Wait a minute. No, dumbass. I took the Bucks minus 1.5. So here's the thing, folks. The imperfect parlay is really, so again, we got 3 games tonight? I'm going to do 3. Oh, we got 2 games tonight. Just 2 tonight. Sorry. Okay, so I'm not going to do the imperfect parlay. We'll just but here's how it goes, folks. You place a wager, a parlay, and you could do any legs you want. You want to do 7 legs, you only want 5 to hit. You want to do 10 legs, you only want 7 to hit. You can do that all with Tipico. It's my new favorite thing right now. And on top of that, you're also getting cashback rewards for every single bet that you place. You can use our promo code Fontana100 for new customers. Sign up today with Fontana100. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever game you want. Get $100 in bonus bets. Bro, start sprinkling $5, $10 imperfect parlays in there and get it rolling with our friends at Tipico. $1 million of cashback rewards paid back to the bettors at Tipico just last month. They are the best cashback reward system in the industry. I'm telling you that. It's so easy. Log in. You go right to the screen, and there it is. And it tells you right where you're at for your single. Basically, it's straight bets and parlay bets. There's 2 different cashback rewards to be had. Of course, we do a lot of parlays here. I'm moving pretty quick towards my cashback rewards for my parlays. Tipico is where it's at. 2 games tonight, like you said. Heat, Celtics, Pelicans, Thunder. 2 giant spreads that we'll get to for tonight. But still, do that imperfect if you want. Do it straight. The booster up. We'll get to our baseball boost for later tonight for the Guardians. They got hockey playoffs. I love it. How about this? A little Ohio baseball parlay, Ryan. Guardians to be the winner in the first 5 innings against the Red Sox. The Reds to be the first 5-inning winner against the Phillies.
Ooh, I don't like that.
It's plus 355 right now. Boosted up. And I love the Bangalore. Is it Bangalorean that's doing the LA Data Cruise home runs that he's all over that?
They're all about the piss missiles.
The piss missiles, yes. That's what they do over there on the Big Play Cincinnati show.
You know, Ellie already has 12 stolen bases.
Does he? That's pretty insane. He hit another one last night. He hit a home run last night.
So
I saw
fast,
that. He is. But it's all there with Tipico, folks. We love betting with them. You will as well. They're the best. Get signed up today with Tipico. All right, let's catch our break. Morning update around the NBA. Stadium discussion out of Chicago. And we'll get to the grid and time up as well. Stay with us. Busy hour 2 upon us. Stay with us.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yap.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone, and at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today, all right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, here we go. Morning update. We'll also do our Around the NBA playoffs. 2 games tonight, 3 last night. Little guards, little Browns, little Cavs, little all of it. Ryan, please take it away. Little Heisman, too, probably, right?
Right, Matt? Well, the Guardy wins. take on the Red Sox again today.
Did you count? Did you make sure you got them on?
Cookie Carrasco on the mound for the Guardians today. The Guardians lead the majors in wins.
Run differential. I mean, come on, man, dude. Like
they
we are
as
just
hot as hot can be, Matt. Tell me about it.
It's a little momentum here, too. Stephen Vogt, off to a great start, and you have a team that starts to believe. I understand that this season, going into it, there were probably a lot of low expectations. Me, I thought they were going to win the Central. I'm not going to lie, I place that bet as just a homer. Okay, it is what it is. Like, I just love the baseball team. They're my first love in this town. I get it. But now that they're starting to get it going, now that you've also started to figure out some things, I think Vogt is getting this lineup thing going. Brennan and Freeman have really started to show up and taking the reins there on that outfield job. Your infield is set. You're good to go. You know who's playing every single day. But now it's starting to get contagious. These guys are starting to believe in one another. And I like it. Maybe it's just because it's not usually this way with the Guardians. I love the fact that we are led by hitting. You know, I think it goes back to Little League when you played. Bro, if you can hit, they'll find a place for you, right? And I know defense is still important, and you still need pitching. But the fact that this is a lineup-driven team now, and you have a true middle-of-the-order threat in Josh Naylor. You've got a great, amazing, elite hitter in Jose Ramirez, and you've got other guys just kind of trickling in. David Fry! Did he have 3 hits the other day? I think he did. Like, dude, come on now. What are we doing? This team, the lineup is, and it's a flip of where this team has been in the past where you didn't have a lineup and you were preying on pitching. It's a nice little change of pace. I really enjoy this change of pace from this team. Will the bats eventually go cold? I hope not. But if Kwan can keep setting the table the way that he is, it's just, they're feeling it. I'm feeling it. I hope the fans are feeling it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to just be a really great summer. I'm really excited to see where this team goes. Keep it rolling, man. Every win counts. Go get one tonight. We'll get to our boost a little bit later. We're Tipico excited for that tonight as they take on the Red Sox.
I hope the Cavaliers are feeling it as well, and they seem to be so. It is their last day of prep before they travel to Orlando tonight to take on the Magic in tomorrow's Game 3 of the first round of the NBA playoffs.
You know, there's an old saying that a series doesn't start until a road team gets a win, and you didn't get that here. Are the Cavs going to get this? Now, the thing is, if they get a win tomorrow night, this series is over. It's done. You're up 3-0 on an Orlando team. They ain't coming back on you. I think, again, I put so much on Monday's game. Because I felt like if you won that, you just shoved all the momentum to your side. But again, tomorrow night, you win and it's over. And they're going to try to steal some back. The Magic are favored, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably right because they know their backs are against the wall and they've got no choice but to try to fight out of this. Expect their best shot. The thing is, expect a little twist here from the Magic. What they've been doing has not been working. They're a better team at home than on the road, so get ready for that. I think tomorrow might be the first true test of who the Orlando Magic are. So I want to see what the Cavs got. I want to see what the Cavs have to fight on back here. The more talented team, I hope they'll get it done. See how it goes.
Well, Matt, we could possibly maybe be seeing the LIV move to a 72-hole format. LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman said Wednesday he's open-minded about the idea of moving to a traditional 72-hole format like the PGA, though he explained the Saudi-backed circuit would need to evaluate the impact of adding an extra round to its 54-hole no-cut event.
So then they can't call it LIV anymore, because LIV, do you know why they call it LIV?
It's 54.
It's the Roman numerals of 54, and that was their thing. So originally when they launched, what was their selling point other than obscene, ungodly amount of money to these guys? Oh, you actually have to play less golf. And that was one of the things I think Dustin Johnson said. Why would I not take more money than I've gotten playing the PGA Tour and I have to play less golf against lesser competition and I get to wear shorts? Okay, great. They want to do it because they want to get the World Golf points, the World Golf rankings, so then they can get some of these guys more into the majors. I'll tell you this, though, Ryan. You know I'm anti-LIV. But there was a good contingent of LIV guys at the Masters. Now, the Masters is a little bit different because of, like, once you win, you're in. But, like, even for the U.S. Open, or actually the PGA is next because they changed the schedule. So for the PGA, you're still going to have a good amount of LIV guys that get in there because they have qualifications from winning other majors or finishing in the top 10. So here's what you could do for the live guys. Hey, you want to come over and make a lot of money. And there's inherent pressure with that. Ryan, do you know that if you make the top 10 in the PGA Championship, you get to go to the PGA Championship again next year? And if you win the PGA Championship, you get into the U.S. Open for the next 5 years. You get into the Masters for the next 5 years. So you have built it up that you might only have 2 or 3 opportunities to either win a golf tournament or place very high, but there's still a path. There's still an option for that, and you just got to go into that week and hope that you win. Again, against a stacked field, against Scotty Scheffler, who's just ragingly hot right now. Got to do that. They're changing all this because we're all preparing for the merger. The merger is going to happen. I don't know when, and I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm very interested. I want to know what it's going to be. Are they going to keep the tours separate? Are they going to come back together? I don't know. They got to get that all figured out. Eventually they will. So this is just a step towards that of, yeah, oh, sure, we'll go play 72 holes. In reality, I think that's them preparing to try to get either A, the World Golf Points, or to just eventually join the PGA Tour.
All right, Matt, you want to go around the NBA?
Let's do the round the NBA. Here we go.
All righty, Matt. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, yes, your Suns did drop another one. In
Never
fact,
again.
The
Never
Timberwolves,
again.
they go up
Never
2-0
again.
in the series. They were led by not Karl Anthony Towns, not Anthony Edwards, not Rudy Gobert, but Jaden McDaniels scores 25. Booker leads the Suns with 20 points. Kevin Durant held to just 18.
Get out of here with that. I mean, come on. Like, this team, I watched a lot of the games I had money at. They were out. They got off to a good start. They were actually, I take that back. They got off to a horrible start, got back into the game. It was competitive until about midway through the third quarter, and then the Timberwolves just put their foot on the gas. That series is over. You realize just how deficient the Suns are. Grayson Allen left that game. He got hurt. They got nothing. Their depth is nothing there with the Suns. And now you start to wonder, is Kevin Durant going to get out of there? I would imagine they're all in on Devin Booker, and I fully admit, do not take anything that I say about Devin Booker real, because I have a higher opinion of him than maybe I should. I don't know. Suns are cooked. They're fried. And I think eventually now you're going to start turning your attention to, are one of those guys going to leave? Are they going to leave? They built that all up for what? For what?
A first-round exit?
That's it. That's it. They suck. To Minnesota,
They suck.
they suck. They're so bad. They really are. And it's not even me being angry because I lost money on them. It's just they're not good. They really aren't. Then you flip it over for Minnesota, and you realize that, how about a little throwback game for Mike Conley? He splashed a 3. I'm like, damn, that's Mike Conley. I forgot he was there. You realize how deep they are, where you got borderline 5 starters that can take it to you there. That's going to be fun. I was crapping on Minnesota. I just didn't know how far they would go, but they've shown me a lot in these 2 games, so well done on their part. But, man, Phoenix is just bad. So bad.
Well, it was no Giannis, but a problem in Game 2 for Milwaukee. Unlike Game 1, they fall 108-125 as Indiana evens the series at 1 apiece. Pascal Siakam leads the way, 37 points, 11 rebounds. Tyrese 12 assists. Damian Lillard did drop 34 in the effort, but not enough power.
Is that not a Pacers game? We're in the playoffs, where we see games in the 80s and the 90s. They put up 124, and they pretty much just let Dame do what he wants. The thing about Milwaukee is this. There's things out that Giannis is really hurt. Like, this is not something like he pulled a calf and he's going to be back in a little while. They're, like, protecting him from maybe trying to not tear his Achilles. Like, there's some real issues with Giannis. So if they think that he's just going to walk through this door and be back, dude, even watch Kawhi. And I know we'll get to the Clippers game as the last one. How much time did he miss? He didn't look like himself last night. Look at Joel Embiid limping his ass up and down the court. He's not the same. They can't just be sitting back on, just when Giannis comes back, he'll be fine. It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that simple for them. So 1-1, I think, is okay for Milwaukee. Again, a pivotal Game 3 coming up in a couple of days. You're back now in Indiana. I still am going to take Milwaukee. I don't like it, but I'm just going to take Milwaukee. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
All right, well, the Mavericks also tied their series up against the Clippers.
That was the only one I got last night. That's the only one I called
leads the way, 32-9-6. Kawhi Leonard did return in this game. However, he did go 0 for 5 from beyond the arc. He drops 15. Harden and Paul George each with 22, but too much Luka magic in that one.
Yeah, they were only 37%. They only shot 8 out of 30 from beyond the arc. I think the Clippers were just happy to get their one bonus win. Now, you could put Kawhi in there, and I know he picked it up a little bit after halftime. They probably feel better about, like, We got Kawhi back in here. We're in a good spot if you're the Clippers. Now, for the Mavericks, it continues to be what? Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. Is that going to be enough to propel them to a series win? I don't know. I picked Dallas in that just because I think these teams are too closely matched for it to not keep going back and forth. And Dallas, again, that was the only one that I got last night. That was the series I was most excited about. Of all the NBA matchups other than the Cavs, that was the one that I was most excited for. And I do think it's played out that way. You've had a couple of close games. Luka playing well. He picked up a tech. You see Jason Kidd say, well, he probably just wanted to see if he was going to pick up a tech. All right, okay, fine.
I didn't catch that game, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, again, it was a real back and forth. Again, low scoring to a point. But that was the only one I won last night was Dallas. So that works out on that. They go now to Dallas 1-1. I think both teams have a reason for optimism. You got a game if you're Dallas. If you're LA, you got Kawhi Leonard back. Thing is, how quickly can he get up to speed? He said he felt good. I think there was a little bit of testing on that knee, and we'll see. So I think that series is far from over. The Timberwolves-Suns series is over. I think the Pacers-Bucks series is on. And I mean, 1-1. I still lean Pacers, and this series is very much on.
You mean Milwaukee?
What did I say?
Pacers?
Pacers-Milwaukee.
I thought you said you're leaning Bucks.
I am leaning Bucks.
Oh, well, you just said Pacers.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm leaning Bucks. I'm still leaning Bucks in that, but that's very much on series.
I'm just keeping track so I can go to Cold Takes Exposed.
Send it all. Send it all. The Suns one is the one that you can just be. I mean, that one dead. That one buries me. I'm dead and buried on the Suns.
Even if they go back to Minnesota 2-2?
They ain't going back to Minnesota 2-2, buddy. They might win one. But it'll be 3-1 when they go back. That's very clearly. So here's what I should do is I should just bet on, oh my God, Minnesota for both games. And here's the thing. If they win game 3, then I'm just not even going to bet game 4. And if they do, I'll just double down on game 4 to win my money back. That's a bad strategy. Don't follow that. 1-800-GAMBLER if you have a problem. Please don't do that. Chasing my losses on that. Speaking of losses.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Speaking of losses. We should get Tipico to give out. They can never do that, but like.
Because they'd be giving away a bajillion credits.
Yeah, just bet against us with the grid. Here's how it goes. Immaculate grid. You got to go up and down. You got to do a player for each. I like the fact that we got some Buckeye in here and a little bit of first-round draft picks. So this should be one. Ryan, I almost guarantee we have to get this.
It's going to come down to we're going to get 4 remaining easily. Because we can just rip the.
Yep. Go. Start ripping them.
All right.
Chase Young.
Yes.
Or Terry McLaurin. I like Terry. Scary Terry. Justin Fields.
Let's go a little Jeff Okuda.
Ooh, I was going to say one of the Bosas, but that's fine.
Pat Surtain.
Oh, yeah, it's not Buckeyes anymore. Duh.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, Pat Surtain the second.
Oh, sorry, it's Patrick, not
Patrick, yes. Just picked up his 5th-year option. Man, is he a good player. Pat Surtain the second. No, Dell.
Saquon?
Or Saquon, that's fine too. All right, buddy, this is where it gets a little dicey. All right, let's start here with just our general thoughts. There's something screaming to me Broncos-Bears. But I don't know what it is.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah. All right, quarterbacks. Oh, that's exactly.
Giants, Bears, Mike Glennon. Didn't Mike Glennon play for the Bears?
I think so. Sure. Jay Cutler was who's slapping me in the face between the Broncos and the Bears. Jay Cutler. That's exactly who it was. Yep. Good job.
Why do
I know Mike Glennon played for the Giants.
Maybe he
you know what? I think he did play for the. I picture his long ass Brachiosaurus neck.
Wow.
He's got a long neck, does he not?
Wow.
You've never seen him?
I have, but
is that not a Brachiosaurus? You like that, Paul? You like that? You like that?
Yes,
Rip it, so we don't have to think about it anymore.
Well, I don't want to be wrong.
I rip it. I feel pretty good about that. You want me to Google it first?
Well, no, because it's cheating. Got it.
What were y'all worried about?
Wow, that is a long neck.
I told you. I told you.
I was just
him
going
and
up by the
Takeo Spikes. Go Google Takeo Spikes. They have the weirdest necks I've ever seen in my life.
Gotta be the longest neck I've ever seen.
Long. He's long. Takeo Spikes' neck.
Imagine if Mike Glennon had Peyton Manning's forehead.
I mean, he kind of does there. He
doesn't have
shaved his
hair.
head, but yeah, like that. And not a lot. So you talk about like height of a quarterback, bro. There's 3 inches right there on his neck.
Yeah.
Let's go. What do you got? Couldn't see over the line.
Imagine him in a
clearly.
turtleneck.
Only go up. Look like a regular collar.
Yeah.
Did he pop his collar when that was
All
a
right,
fun
what did
thing
Mike
to
Glennon do to us?
Yeah, to like triple it. I'm sorry, Mike Glennon. All right, lock in here. Let's finish it out because I feel like Washington always gives us problems.
They do every single time.
Washington always gives us problems. So we think quarterbacks here, and I got to tell you, well, first off, Jacoby Brissett doesn't work for either the Broncos or the Giants. Does Tyrod Taylor work Giants Washington? I don't think so. I don't.
Oh, I just had a name in my mind.
Fitzpatrick? I know he played for Washington, and I think he played for the Giants.
Who?
Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick. I know he played Washington. I don't know if that's enough for to rip it, though.
He very well could have.
Hold off on it. We got that in our back pocket. You know, the other thing, I know Josh Johnson played for the Broncos. Did he go for Washington? I don't know. Can I Google? I'm cheating, but Washington, which I knew, and Denver. You can do Josh Johnson. No. Will you give that to me?
I guess.
Give it to me. I would have ripped that one. Wait a minute!
Did he not start a game?
No! No!
What'd you do?
He never played a game for Denver.
That's karma.
Son of a...
Karma for Mike Glennon.
For Googling it. Well, that too, for the Mike Glennon. Damn it! Man!
All right, let's end on a high note.
All right. Son of a gun. Washington Giants. They're...
Did Logan Thomas play for the Giants? I don't think so.
I'd listen to it. Again, Fitzpatrick would be our, like, we get down. We're only 4 minutes in, so we got plenty of time. But I'm just saying, Fitzpatrick would be, like, my instant rip there if we needed it. Oh, man. Josh McCown? No.
Just see if the chat's giving us any help.
Sure, go over to YouTube.
Oh, good thing I did.
Yeah.
Charles says, look at the chat. Clinton Portis? Which one does that work for?
Well, Clinton. Oh, yeah. Washington, Denver. That's a great one. Appreciate that,
That
Charles.
works for Washington,
Yeah.
Denver?
Clinton Portis. That's a good pull. It's a really good pull there. Yes. Yeah.
For
Oh, we got to do our simulator. Yeah. Go there. Clinton Portis.
Clinton
Yeah,
Portis?
Clinton Portis.
Shout out Charles.
Shout out Charles. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
If I could type, we can get it.
Clinton Portis. My God.
Let's go. Shout out Charles. Thank you.
That's my bad, man. I screwed that all up.
Thanks, Charles.
All right, go down. I just want to see Washington Giants. It's the only one we missed.
132.
See,
I don't even know. Jesse Armstead, Leonard Marshall,
No.
Norm Snead, Carl Banks, Sam Hunt.
Carl Banks. Quarterback.
Colt McCoy.
Oh, that would have been a good one, too. Colt is a good one for the grid. We got to start remembering him a little bit. All right, not bad.
Shout out.
Yeah, not bad. All right, not bad on that. All right, I want to get to the stadium discussion. We have our mock draft simulator, which we'll get to later. A little bit of time up. We'll get to our bracket as well. So, important news coming out with the Chicago Bears. So, as we've discussed, everything with the Browns Stadium and Brook Park and renovation, all that, we've hit a lull on it, which I frankly am excited about because we don't have to talk about this ad nauseum every single day. You know where I stand. I think they're going to stay downtown. I don't think they're going to go to Brook Park. I think at this moment, it's still posturing, but they don't even know. And I want everybody to remember, as we bring up all of this stadium discussion, the city doesn't know, and neither do the Haslams. They will eventually sit down when time is ticking and they're up against it. They will sit down and hammer out a deal. Here's where I come from. Number one, I don't think Brook Park provides every single thing that everybody thinks it's going to be. Oh, we're going to create this mecca, and you're going to get all this, and you could drive here. That's all great, pie in the sky, and you get a new stadium. Number two, why I don't think Brook Park works. If they're struggling to find the money to do it downtown, what makes you think they're going to find the money to do it over there? Number 3, and again, okay, they're going to have all this money come back to them, and it has them get parking, and they'll get apartments and all that kind of stuff. Fine. And number 3, from the city side of things, I don't think Mayor Bibb wants to be the guy that's known as not going to Baltimore, but you let the Browns leave downtown. You don't want to figure that out. And this is me wishing probably more than anything, Ryan, but I hold out hope that they find something else downtown. I'm sure that they've done surveys and they've had people out looking at places. I hold out hope they find somewhere new downtown, exactly what they did in Chicago. Here's the update on Chicago. We have numbers for what the Bears are looking to do. So the Bears and Browns have so many similarities with their stadium thing. Soldier Field is a piece of crap. It's falling apart. I've driven past it many times when I've been in Chicago. It's not pretty. But it's right in the lake, all that. They need a new stadium. So the Bears ownership group went out to the suburbs and bought a piece of land. Gee, where have I heard that before? Then the city comes back and goes, no. We're going to get this downtown. We're going to build you a new stadium down there. What we have now, Ryan, the price. Later today, the Bears are set to reveal plans for a $4.6 billion project to build a new enclosed stadium on Lake Michigan lakefront property, according to the Chicago Tribune. The team plans to pay $2.3 billion and need $2.3 billion from the taxpayers. The stadium itself is going to cost $3.2 and another $1.4 billion in infrastructure improvements, parks, transportation, utilities, parking, garages, everything outside of the stadium. Taxpayers would technically be covering the infrastructure improvements and $1 billion in new borrowed money, which would involve new bonds that you can buy through the Illinois Sports Facility Authority. So my quick understanding of a bond is it's like when, Ryan, do you know about war bonds when World War was going on?
I've heard a few things.
What you do is you give money to the government saying you need this money right now more than me. I get a bond. Say I give you $50. I get a $50 bond. I can cash that in for $75 down the road when we're out in the middle of a war. The same thing here with Chicago. You pay your money for this bond, and it won't come due for at least 15 or 20 years. But what Chicago is banking on, we're going to make money off of this. We'll put this aside, and when you cash your bond in, you get it later. There's like a lot of families that'll buy this for their kids. They'll buy a bond for their kid. Now, it's not something you usually make a lot of money off of, but it's to help out the city, so on and so forth. Here's the interesting part. For perspective, on a $2.3 billion taxpayer allotment, for the entire state of Illinois, Ryan, that's $183. $183. So if I instantly asked a question out there of the people watching and viewing, or if we put this on social media, would you pay $183 of your hard-earned money to go towards an enclosed stadium for the Cleveland Browns, downtown Cleveland? My gut? Sure. I'm very thankful that I'm in a situation where $183, sure. And it's a one-time thing. Now, what is the difference? We have another professional football team down there in Cincinnati. I don't think you're going to Cincinnati fans and going, hey, you want to pay for the Brown Stadium? No. And there are people in Columbus, I'm sure like Illinois. Not everybody that's born in Illinois or lives in Illinois are a fan of the Chicago Bears. But they're playing a different game. They're the only pro football team in town. Again, we're down in Cincinnati. It's a little bit different. But you're also talking about Chicago. Chicago, a much bigger city than Cleveland. Many more people there. I didn't even look this up. Population, Chicago to Cleveland. Okay, you ready for this? Dude, holy cow.
Let's hear it.
This was this from 2016, though. Is Cleveland a poor man's Chicago is something that came up on this. All right, I'm just going to go because this is what was up. This was all the way back in 2016. 2.7 million people live in Chicago. Cleveland has 400,000.
It's a big difference.
400,000 to 2.7 million people. Plus, you talk about Chicago and the commerce and the businesses that are there. And I guess people would try to tell me, oh, Matt, well, we don't need $4.6 billion like the Bears. It'd be pretty damn close. It'd be pretty damn close. The $4.6 billion stadium would be the second most expensive in sports history, only behind SoFi. And that project was completely funded by Stan Kroenke. These plans come after the Bears already spent $197 million to buy the Arlington International Racecourse property in Arlington Heights, where they were going to put it, but now apparently plan to abandon those plans, sell it off, and be able to use it. Here's the other funny thing. Apparently, the Chicago White Sox want a new stadium, too. So as they lump all of this in, they want $2 billion for their new stadium. Yeah, their 3-20 record really helps push that for the Chicago taxpayers there. Okay, so this is all from Yahoo this morning. The Bears and White Sox already have some financial ties as they both received they both received major rounds of funding via that bond system that I told you about, the ISFA, which is what they have there in Chicago, the Illinois Sports Facility Authority. Cleveland has the same thing. It's the gateway stuff. It's the syntax. There is a 2% hotel tax that has been used to pay bonds that covered renovations for Soldier Field and Guaranteed Rate, but the debts have far outpaced that income. Per the Tribune, taxpayers still owe $629 million for renovations on both teams that are now trying to abandon, while then coming back and asking for billions of dollars. So they're still owed $600 million on this supposed thing, and they need billions. Because here's the funny thing. Ryan, I pay money. I go to sit in a hotel to pay this tax, and then I go try to cash in my bond. It's just money going, you're taking it out of your right pocket, putting it in your left. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul. I mean, that's pretty much what's happening here. There's only so much money to go around. So the thing is, and another comparison to be had, you don't have Stan Kroenke here. The Haslam's have a lot of money. I'm not saying they don't. I doubt very highly that they are just going to sit down and foot the bill for everything, which is yet another reason why I'm not seeing the Brook Park thing like everybody else is. The Haslams, I'm sure, sat down with business people and financial analysts to sit there and say, all right, if you paid this chunk, you'll get this back with the NCAA Final Four, and you'll get it back with the Super Bowl, and it's a long game. I understand all of that, but I still would have a hard time sitting down and cutting a check for $3.5 billion to fund this, to put it up front. And I'm sure they'd get businesses in there. I'm sure they'd get parking in there. I don't know. A sports economist spoke to the Tribune in Chicago talking about exactly this issue, right? They had this hotel tax that still isn't paying enough for the renovation, so they got a hole over there, and you're still asking for billions. J.C. Bradbury, which is a sports economist, said, "Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The Bears aren't going to leave one of the most iconic football markets in the country. Tell the Bears to pay for their own damn stadium, and if they don't like it, go jump in Lake Michigan."
Wow.
Is that a tack we want to start playing with the Haslam? You want your own stadium, you pay for it yourself, or go jump in the lake like Hugh did?
Oh, you're proud of that one. It was good. It was good.
I mean,
it was good.
Hugh's butt hanging out.
It was very good.
Shorts, all that. Go jump in the... Okay. I get it. Where people want to play the hardball game with the Haslams and say, you're worth all this money. Go build this stadium. Ryan, do you know how much Stan Kroenke is worth?
I don't even know who that is.
He owns the Rams, and he built that stadium. He's worth $16.2 billion. The Haslams are worth half of that. That's the difference in all this. That is the difference when you're talking about cutting a check. And I know it's not literally like a check for billions of dollars. You get funding. You have to put money in escrow. I get all of it. But that's I think, the difference in this whole thing. If you had no joke, bro, if Dan Gilbert owned the Browns, this wouldn't even be a discussion. He'd build the stadium by himself because he can, because he's that rich. It's not quite as simple as just what people are trying to break it down to be. That being said, I'm watching what the Bears are going to do here. So again, they're asking for that much money, $4.6 billion, and they need half of that from the city. That's Chicago. We can't get $500 million. Because remember, that's what they were supposedly asking for the renovations. Can't even get $500 million out of the city. We got problems. I think eventually that's going to come to a head. I feel like eventually the city will find some way to get them their money, stay downtown, renovate that stadium. I've been saying it. I'm going to ride through it until I'm changed the wrong way, just like my son's pick. All right, stay with us. When we come back, we're going to jump into timeout. We'll tell you what happened in history. We have our mock draft simulator for the day, and we'll make our picks for the NBA tonight and hopefully get our Guardians boost ready to go with our friends at Tipico. Stay with us. Fontana Show right here in Big Play.
Well, how do they know I'm doing this? Did somebody leak this out?
It's social media.
Oh.
It's just, that's the way social media works now.
I thought maybe you were just running that yep.
Welcome to Big Play, a sports media team that started back in 2014, and now we're not in a garage. Look at us, incorporating some of Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland. Coming to you live from the shores of Lake Erie and Burke Lakefront Airport, join Team Big Play for all the best sports talk in Ohio. Check us out on social media at Big Play, bringing you fun and compelling content from downtown Cleveland.
Anthony Schlegel, just how physical he was. You saw the girth and the power and everything he was bringing to the table, especially when he was a nice beefy 255 playing middle linebacker.
We were called soft last year. You don't want to be soft, especially when you come to the playoffs. So that's going to be a process throughout this season of establishing us as a harder team here in the
How does an Ohioan build the perfect parlay?
Who's got something? Big guys looking for long odds. The kids in Columbus are covering better than anyone. And at even odds. If it's even, I'm leaving. Listen, our championship DVD starts today. All right? Dude, I just got an invite to a Cincy playoff watch party. Shut up. Cincy, State, Cleveland, the perfect parlay. I'm a genius.
For the best odds on Ohio sports, bet with your cojones.
It is Spanish, dummy.
Bet with Typical Sportsbook.
I don't buy into this nonsense, this conspiracy nonsense that he's got his money and he's dogging it. That's ridiculous.
All right, let's get to it. A little bit of time out. We'll tell you what happened the 24th of April, the date. We got a lot of time to go on back. So let's start, Ryan. Just 1 year ago today, the Jets acquire Aaron Rodgers from the Packers. Here's how the trade went down 1 year ago. Jets gave up a 1, a 2, a 6, and a conditional pick that would have turned into a 1 from a 2 if he would have played 65% of the snaps. Do you know what I tweeted 1 year ago today? That was a guarantee. He didn't make it 65 seconds into the season, let alone 65% of the snaps. The Packers gave up Rodgers. So basically, years ago, they gave up Rodgers to the Jets. They flip-flopped their 1s. Packers gave them a 5. Jets gave up a 2, a 6, and a 2 that was going to be a 1, but it actually stayed as a 2. Listen, I get why the Jets made the move. I still don't know if it's a good move. Last year, got hurt. How could you prepare for that? Nobody knows, right? But do you really feel like the Jets are in a prime position right now today to go to the Super Bowl this year? I don't think so. And it's twofold. I think the Jets are a really good team. But you look at the rest of the AFC, look at their own division. Like, you built it up for this. And I know he said he's going to come back next year and play last. Okay, fine. You really feel like the Jets are going to go to the Super Bowl over the next 2 years? And you could be saying, the Jets gave that up. What else did they have? What else could they do? If I were them, I'm drafting a quarterback this year. And I'm doing the same thing to Rodgers of what happened to him in Green Bay, which is exactly what happened to Brett Favre when Rodgers got there. I'm still drafting a guy. And hopefully Rodgers, you know he'd have a problem with it, but it's like, shut up. Like, what are you going to do? I draft a quarterback if I were them. I think there's a lot of teams. The Steelers are reportedly looking at quarterbacks. There are a few of these teams. I think that's in the cards. For the Browns, not this year. Not this year. Next year, sure. We'll see how that all plays out. But if I'm the Jets, I'm still taking a quarterback. Do you think they regret that Aaron Rodgers trade 1 year in? Probably. I don't think they can, right? We don't have.
No, you can't regret it.
You can't regret it yet. There's still time to be figured out. I don't regret this move because this day, 2020, it was the second day of the NFL draft. In the second round, Browns traded back from 41 to 44 and took Grant Delpit, safety, LSU. Damn good player. Damn good player. It certainly worked out for the Browns this day, 2020. This day, 2016, Cavs sweep on out of the first round. They beat the Pistons 100-98. Kyrie finished with 31 points in that game, including 20 in the second half alone. Remember, we just swept series? We're back to it. I heard some crazy, there's some crazy stats about the Cavs. Do you know that the Cavs have never been up 2-0 in a 7-game series without LeBron James?
Since now, right?
Yeah, or now. This is the first time.
Wow.
And obviously, they've never swept a team out, which they have a potential to do without LeBron James in a 7-game series, which is pretty crazy. This day, 1996, the NBA approved the creation of the WNBA, which started in 1997. Look at it today. Get the Rockers back, man. I'd love to have another basketball team back. Big news in the WNBA yesterday. See that thing about Kelsey Plum.
Yeah.
That poor girl. I don't know what happened. I like her.
I wonder if it was the eating popcorn meme.
I just don't. I don't like to see any marriage fail. So I feel bad. Darren Waller and Kelsey Plum are getting divorced. They were only married for a year. So wishing them
13 months, man.
13 months. I'm sorry. Could be worse. You'd be Kardashian and
Chris Humphries.
Chris Humphries, thank you. Would they make 70 days?
Something like that.
Something like that. What a time. This day, 1990, the Hubble Space Telescope was launched. I don't know why I find myself listening to more of like Neil deGrasse Tyson. You know he's coming to Playhouse, by the way?
Is he?
Yeah. I said to my wife, I kind of want to go. Like him and that Brian Cox guy. I could just listen to them talk about space and black holes and matter and the creation of the earth and all. I have no, like, I'm a simple man, I'll tell you that. But like listening to those guys discuss it, I find it very interesting.
Absolutely.
I never really was into the cosmos as a kid, but I'm pretty interested in it now. Hubble Space Telescope launched this day, 1990. This day, 1985. This is a pretty big one. Bernie Kosar announced that he would skip his final 2 years at Miami and enter the supplemental draft. He did it because he wanted to come to the Browns. He's a Youngstown kid, wanted to play for the Browns, and he said, this is what I'm going to do. And it all happened this day, 1985. This day, 1974, the NFL granted a franchise to the Tampa Bay area. Buccaneers are a pretty cool name. I like their colors.
I like it a lot.
I like the cream. They need to go back to more of the cream color uniforms that they had, but pretty legacy, you know, early 2000s. Had some really good players come on through. And then, oh yeah, Tom Brady just won them another Super Bowl. Good for them. This is for my dad, who I know is watching. This day, 1967, The Doors released Light My Fire. Probably their most famous hit. Ed Sullivan accidentally said higher. You know that story, right?
No.
So the Doors got on Ed Sullivan to play Light My Fire, and they went to Jim Morrison, and they said, bro, we can't have you saying higher on network TV. So could you just change it to girl, we can't get much better? So like the line is, girl, we can't get much higher. And they said, could you just say, girl, can you do, we can't get much better? So he's singing on the Sullivan Show, and he said higher. And Sullivan went through the roof. They said, you'll never be on this show again. You're done. Now, there's the Oliver Stone movie with Val Kilmer playing Jim Morrison. In that one, it's Morrison being defiant and doing it on purpose. A lot of the historians say, dude, Jim Morrison forgot. He sings this song this way all the time. He was nervous, and he accidentally sang the wrong word, but Light My Fire, released this day, 1967. This day, 1962, Sandy Koufax set an MLB record by striking out 18 batters in a game. It was the record, or I'm sorry, I take that back. He tied the Major League Baseball record, which was set by Bob Feller in 1938. And he was the first live ball pitcher to strike out 18, which at the time, again, Sandy Koufax tied. Now, the record is now 20 in a game. Can you name me one of the 3 pitchers in Major League Baseball history that have 20 strikeouts in a game?
I'm going to Randy Johnson?
No. I would think yes, but no.
Felix Hernandez?
No.
I'm just thinking of guys that throw straight Ks.
One of these guys did it twice.
Wow. Kershaw?
No. Good guess, though.
I mean, are these guys, is anyone still
One
playing?
guy, yes, one guy is still playing. The other 2 are not. One guy actually came to the Indians for a year. The other guy has 7 AL Cy Young awards, but is yet not in the Hall of Fame.
How does that work? Did you do something wrong? What?
7 AL Cy Youngs, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Why would he not be in the Hall of Fame, Ryan?
Did he bet? I don't know.
In today's day and age, yes.
Because he was on steroids.
Yes.
I don't know.
Who's the most famous pitcher in history for being on steroids? Roger Clemens?
Oh, man.
Roger
don't know.
Clemens. Okay.
Okay.
So Roger Clemens did it twice.
And then one of them still playing today?
Yes.
It's okay. I'm just throwing a name. Verlander.
Close.
Scherzer.
Max Scherzer and Kerry Wood, who came to the Guardians Indians for a year. So again, the record is 20. Scherzer, Kerry Wood, and Roger Clemens, who did it twice all this day in history. This day, 1901, the Indians played their first ever American League game. They beat the they lost to the White Sox 8-2. This day, 1800. This one's pretty cool. The Library of Congress was established. It was originally built to just house books needed by Congress, but now is expanded out to films, music, drawings, and other things of pop culture reference. There are over 17 million pieces housed in 3 buildings in Washington, and it's one of the largest libraries in the world. That's something when you hear a movie got accepted to the Library of Congress as being like aesthetically important. You know, it means that it was like an important movie. It doesn't mean it's the best movie, but it was like a cultural movie. Like Titanic is in there. Jaws is in there.
Star Wars.
Star Wars is in there in the Library of Congress. I've got NFL drafts of history. 2004, Eli Manning goes first overall. Browns took Kellen Winslow at 6. This day, 1994, Dan Wilkinson goes number 1 overall out of Ohio State. He went to Cincinnati. The Browns took Antonio Langham and Derek Alexander in the first round. And maybe since this year would have gone with their second overall pick, it was Marshall Faulk this day, 1994. And then this day, 1988, Andre Bruce went first overall. Browns took Clifford Charlton at 21 and Michael Dean Perry in the second round. Michael Irvin went 11 overall this day, 1998. Very happy birthday goes out to former Browns coach Maurice Carthon, the great, on the field, Omar Vizquel, Chipper Jones, Carlos Beltran, Tyler Naquin, Barbara Streisand, Kelly Clarkson, Joe Keery of Stranger Things fame, and Cedric the Entertainer, all celebrating birthdays today. So there it is. It's Riz's birthday today. It's Tony Riz's birthday. So shout out to Riz. I texted him this morning to wish him a very happy birthday. So there it is, Ryan. Time up. You want to quickly go through our mock draft simulator?
Yeah, you want to do it?
Yeah. So,
all right. I'll do 3 rounds. I set it to fast.
Fast. Today. Go. Here we go.
Oh, boy, that is fast.
It is fast. Going through. We might get a trade here. Here it is.
Oh, my God. Ladd McConkey almost
Ladd
made
McConkey.
it.
All right, so where it is. Here's our trade offer here. We're sitting at 50. All right, rejected. What do we got?
All right.
Receivers. Go right to receivers.
Malachi Corley still there?
Okay. Just run through the list just so I have them all. Who's available here at 54?
Malachi Corley,
All
Ricky Pearsall, Patrick Paul. I've seen him a couple times. Okay. That's probably about it.
All right. Defensive line, you want to just click that quick?
Michael Hall still there. I've seen him. A couple edge rushers, but
Okay.
linebacker Peyton Wilson's still there.
All right, probably go Malachi Corley, right? You down with that pick?
Yep.
I'm down with that pick. All right, speaking of picks, let's get ours for tonight. Miami taking
Oh,
on.
man, we got an 84 to pick.
Oh, you're going to do 84 too?
We gotta do
I guess,
that
I
one.
guess if it motors. Okay, fine. I guess if it motors. Decline all our picks.
Come on, that's an important pick.
All right. What do you got?
Will Shipley, Javon Bullard, Mason Smith
He's
there?
still there every time. Let's take somebody new.
Okay. What are we looking at? What position do you like? Maybe this time we go D-tackle?
We'll go D-tackle. I mean,
Maybe
Mason Smith again is.
Andre Sweat.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Best linebacker, James Williams. I mean, how do you not take Mason Smith?
Is Trey Benson still there? I don't need a running back, but
No.
like Corum. All right, man.
Oh,
I
that
bet.
Kieran Amagaji, who I would love to tackle out of Yale. He goes 1 to the Steelers before.
Damn, you Steelers. I guess Mason Smith. That's just.
All right, man.
That's just the pick that I'm on.
All
All right, our picks for tonight. Heat Celtics 14.5 points over there on Tipico. Quick here. Miami is 6-3 against the spread their last 9 games. And how about this? Miami is 9-4 against the spread their last 13 games against Boston, but they're just 1-7 straight up in their last 8. Miami is 5-2 against the spread their last 7 games when they play at TD Garden. Boston 16-4 straight up in their last 20. They are 16-1 in their last 17 home games. And again, Miami covers there at the Garden. I don't know. Celtics? All right, do that. Late game again, another big spread. Thunder Pelicans, 7.5 on the side of Oklahoma City. Very clearly, I'm taking Oklahoma City in this one. New Orleans is 4-2 against the spread their last 6, but they don't play Oklahoma City all that well. New Orleans just 6-13 against the spread their last 19 against the Thunder. New Orleans just 1-5 straight up in their last 6 against Oklahoma City. Flip it over to the Thunder, 4-1 against the spread their last 5. And they are 5-0 again. They're on a 5-game win streak at home. But again, New Orleans has covered 4 out of the last 5 games when it's played at Oklahoma City. I'll still take the Thunder minus the 7.5. So you like the Celtics minus the points, and I'll take Oklahoma City minus the points.
Okay.
Big one there on Miami, but we'll have to see. Do we have the damn? All right, we'll get to our boost later. You want to tell everybody what it is for tonight?
Yeah, I think.
Pull it up.
They might be having issues for some reason with one of the same game parlays.
So we did do one that you can't do on your own. We did under first inning runs. Guardians money line.
And just one hit for Brian Roque.
Okay, so they're going to work on that. They'll get it up at Tipico, folks. But use that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Sorry, Padon just texted us. Okay, fair enough. We're going to get that up as soon as we can. But bet with Tipico using that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. As soon as that game ends, get $100 in your account. For new customers, terms and conditions apply. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Other things I thought were interesting for tonight for the Guardians from a play standpoint, Andres Jimenez, who's been scuffling, just one hit. Now, it's minus 270. But just to get a hit, to try to come out of it, I think I liked that one a lot. And then Carrasco strikeouts was a little high for me. His over-under was 5.5. He'd have to get to 6. That's a tough one. Batting props. 2 hits for Quan is plus 140. 2 hits for Naylor is plus 180. I like Jose Ramirez. 2 hits plus 180 in this game.
Stay hot, Jose.
Total bases. Let's get, oh, man. Let me see if I can find you a little bit of Jose Ramirez. How about over a base and a half? That's just one double for a home run. Minus 108. Minus 108. Huh. And again, a walk counts for that too. I like that, man. I might put that a little together for a time. You know what I could do? What if I went over here? What if I did a little imperfect parlay? They let me do that? Oh, no, they can't be combined because they're impactful of one another. So I get it, but still, I like the Ramirez tonight. I like that as well, and we're going to go under on the first inning runs. Ryan, got a lot of votes on this.
We did.
For favorite cheese? Cheddar and mozzarella.
No
favorites.
surprise.
No favorites there. Or no surprise there. I'm a little sad that we're the 2 that they beat.
The American cheese is trash. That got beat.
No, I voted American.
Ew.
Stop
over cheddar?
that. Yeah.
Oh my god.
American is delicious. No, I voted over mozzarella. I knew mozzarella was going to win, so I wanted to go a little anti there. All right, groups 3 and 4 tonight. Feta Parmesan, provolone, and brick cheese. Feta, provolone, and Parmesan are tough. I'm going to go provolone on that.
You know my vote.
I know. Group 4, 3 are amazing, 1 is trash. Swiss, pepper jack, brie, and Munster. Swiss is trash. I don't know how I'm going to pick between the others. I'm actually going to go.
I'm going pepper jack.
I want to go pepper jack. You only eat brie when you go to somebody's house and they're hosting as a charcuterie board. But Munster on a sandwich, man, is delicious. I don't know how you don't like Munster cheese.
Munster on a tuna sub from Mr. Hero.
God. No, they actually put.
Isn't that your thing?
No, they put white American.
But don't you love like
the
sub
tuna
from Mr.
and
Hero?
I
Wasn't it
hope
Mr. Hero.
I hope to never be on death row. I'll tell you that. But
bro,
that would probably be it.
That's crazy.
I would say probably my mom's stroganoff. My wife for dessert. She makes.
Oh,
she makes muffins, Ryan.
I don't think you can have that.
Why not?
I don't think
it's my last meal. My mom's stroganoff. My wife makes these banana chocolate chip muffins.
I don't think you're allowed. The way you said it, I don't think you're allowed to have your wife for dessert as your last meal.
Well, maybe that's why I'm on death row.
What?
And then a tuna sub for Mr. Hero. That's how it would go out. Again, I hope to never be there, and I just hope I could just have that as my Thursday meal. You know, if I just want to sit down and be like, man, I'd really go from stroganoff and some tuna sub for Mr. Hero. But yes, to your initial question, yes, tuna is one of my favorite things for Mr. Hero.
Did you not get my joke?
What'd you say?
You paused. You said I want my mom's stroganoff.
Yeah, and my wife.
And you said I want my wife for dessert.
No, I
and
said
then you
for
paused
dessert,
like
my
5
wife.
Yeah.
And then I paused because I was going to say.
Do you not get my joke?
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Oh, no, I got it.
Right.
I understand. I
making
got
sure.
it. There it is. Wednesday, a busy day because we have bonus time with Bruce Drennan tonight. So he's got to be getting ready to go for the draft. So he'll be on tonight. Then tomorrow, Bengalorian?
Yes.
Yeah, because are they going to do a special edition of the Big Play Cincinnati show?
I would imagine so.
Drew. Bengalorian and Drew. They're up tomorrow. As well as we get Boobies World this week. We got Chico this week. Folks, we got it all with Big Play. Appreciate everybody joining us this morning. Check us out on Tipico using that code Fontana100 when you sign up for new customers. And we will talk to you a Draft Cavs Eve edition tomorrow, 9 a.m. Same place, same time. Talk to you then. For Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.